the choice of her in particular, considering like if I were to say what's for the left, what's Kamala's biggest individual problem? What pops in your head?
Well, because I had to cut a lot of it, but it's a lot of the healthcare back and forth.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that is certainly true.
As far as from our perspective, you talking about as far as just getting elected?
No. I was thinking in terms of her past, it's her prosecutorial background and what she did in that respect is an issue that pops into my head.
It's gonna pop in your head as far as her, again, them getting elected now or getting into office, or you mean what if and when they're there?
I mean, potentially both. In terms of getting elected, it's an interesting choice for a time when that set of topics is like a big portion of the political conversation that we're having nationally. On the other hand, hypothetically, the things that she advocates for in terms of law enforcement now are different in significant ways from what she was doing when she was in a position to do it herself.
True.
But then on top of that, she seems to have known she was going to run for president this entire time. So how much can you actually trust of anything that she was advocating for or voting for? And I know that that path is a cynical path, but it might also be the true path. I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate her. Like it's obviously it's not the person I wanted as the president or the VP necessarily, except once you consider from the options we actually had.
Yeah, that part of the conversation with the prosecutorial background, which is an issue, let's keep it real, is gonna stick with the progressive wing of the party. That's where it's gonna be talked about. That's where it's gonna be like, considering this is an issue, considering what we're dealing with. But for the rest of the country that is center or even right or center left and is as far as progressive as many of us are, they're thinking, oh yeah, that's an issue, but you know what, that was in the past. We do that all the time as politicians. Politicians always have a bit of a tricky background when it comes to things they've done or said or represented or voted for. All those things have happened, and these people don't get completely ousted because of it. We go, oh, that's an issue, and then we move on. So it'll get discussed, but the problem is it's not gonna get discussed amongst their opponents. So that's why I was asking if you meant as far as them just getting elected. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and them are not gonna be pushing her being such a hardcore prosecutor. There's no way they're gonna do that because they can't, because they've been pushing this whole fake law and order BS for this whole time. So for them to then say that this woman who they see as this opponent and is super radical, that suddenly she's this hard prosecutor who went after all these criminals, that's what they wanna do.
Yeah.
That's what progressives are gonna be mad at her about, not them.
Exactly.
So this isn't gonna stop their momentum as far as going towards the general election, because that's something they can't argue. This is gonna cause a lot of head spinning and tongue twisting for people who are gonna be pushing against her and calling her radical, right? And while at the same time, left folks are gonna be calling her super conservative.
Yeah.
Which honestly, she's done a little bit of both, and that's the reason why it's gonna be hard to nail her down.
Yeah, you're totally right. The head spinning has already begun because on the day that she was announced, they're trying to attack both. So they want to attack Biden for like the crime bill and Kamala for what she did as a prosecutor, which is fair. Both of those things happened, but also they want Portland to be every city. They want the cops to be hunted down by Antifa super soldiers. Wait. So which is it? Is it that they're way too deferential to law enforcement and they're cracking down this thing, or they secretly want anarchy? And some ads are making both of those claims in the same ad. I kind of feel like you gotta pick a lane, and at least one, it might be a little bit older, the references, but at least it's based in fact. Kamala Harris doesn't want towers being pulled down in American cities and hammer and sickle signs being put up. That's just not true.
It won't add up, because then if they play this a certain way where she kind of ignores those ridiculous points and just hits policy and talks about things that the Trump administration has done and dismantles Mike Pence the way everyone expects her to in the debate, all those things will fall into place. It's a matter of staying focused and not, those are supposed to be distractions. Once the Trump administration is throwing just slop against the wall to see what sticks, it's up to you not to chase after the slop and start trying to lick it off the wall. It's just gonna sit there and no one's gonna pay attention anymore.
Yeah, okay, so look, we're gonna give more of our reactions in just a minute as we break down some of the other reactions to it and get an idea of what the sort of narratives against Biden and Kamala Harris are gonna be. And by the way, let's just touch base, let's just center ourselves for 1 second and realize it ended up as Biden and Harris after all of that.
John, I've been wanting to bring this up to you and Jenk since we had the first conversation. I think it was probably the second episode of The Conversation, am I right? Because we just had open discussion. And it's not like you guys were set on it, but it wasn't really thought out.
What's that?
I mean, it wasn't confirmed in y'all's minds. You're like, the question was, does Joe Biden have a chance at the nomination? And none of us believed he was gonna get it. I was on the side of believing he wasn't gonna get it. But I did say, does he not have a chance? Are we crazy? Of course he has a chance. Of course he has a chance. And I was scoffed at. I was told that I'm supporting Joe Biden, not by you guys.
Maybe a little bit.
Oh, so Joe Biden, you support him now? I said, all I'm pointing out is the reality of politics. Joe Biden, President Obama's vice president for 8 years, and now we have this idiot in office. And we look up and people start having memories of Obama, whether or not you liked him or not. But that was a lot more stable. At least we felt like someone in office was thinking.
Yeah.
That was helping Joe Biden to the degree that no one could imagine. And it helped him much more than we thought. And now with a Kamala Harris pick as his VP.
Look,
good luck.
Obviously you're right, because they're the nominees. And yes, the thing is, there was really good reasons to believe that Biden was going to fall apart. And I would argue he did right up until everyone else fled the field. Like,
which debate did Joe Biden win?
I don't know. I think, look, Biden generally, the polls of his debates did better than I think they should have. I thought he was pretty bad at most of the debates, and usually not really a factor at most of them. And he did horribly in the first few races. And historically, nobody comes back from that. But everyone fled, and that combined with the sort of support that he had already had at that point. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
The establishment coalesced around that candidate because Bernie Sanders was again another threat, and they're more afraid of him than they are of any conservative. So that also fueled enough of people to try and surround Biden and help him out after they saw him struggling, and after they saw Kamala Harris go and kick him around on that one debate. So all that happened, and not long after, Kamala dropped out.
Yeah.
She saw this from the beginning. She's like, it's time to stop attacking, because it looks like he's, it's not going my way. So I might as well go ahead and set myself up to have enough time between the last time I whooped him to the time he's gonna have a chance to choose me, and then maybe we can let bygones be bygones. And it worked.
Yeah. As
soon as she dropped out, I said, oh, this is a vice presidential move.
Yeah, but a lot of things that were happening seemed potentially like vice presidential moves. But I agree, and you were certainly right about Biden having more. But he failed in multiple attempts at the presidency anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just weird. I was going back and I was watching some of the old SNL sketches of the debates, and to think, man, at this point we never would have. Well, I wouldn't have thought. You obviously did. Anyway, so yeah. Okay.
I thought Warren was gonna win, honestly.
It should have been Bernie. It should have been Bernie.
Again, I said I thought Warren was gonna win, just for everyone who misinterpreted.
Yeah, there was a point at the end of 2019 where it looked like it could be going in that direction. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.